So welcome to Liberty Estate Project. This is with AFT Construction. We're here with Ryan, and we're going to go through the structural steel. We have a lot of structural steel, as well as the ICF, the insulated concrete form. And again, there's a lot of rebar in this build. And something that's really important, as Ryan will speak about, is for the most part, a lot of the steel is going to be installed later or simultaneously, but there was one that has to be installed right now so we can keep going vertical.
Yeah, so ICF specialist got on site and we started talking, and we realized that we really needed to have this one column on site right now, as soon as possible. So we called Greg over at Leavitt Steel, and we're racing one column over. We're going to install that on Monday, so we'll get that in. But another key factor is every opening, has a certain amount of jam bars that are needed and that kind of stuff. So if it's a 3-foot opening, you might only have 2 jam bars on each side. If it goes to a 4-foot, you might have 4 rebar on each side. And that's because we're gonna take those, go up over the windows. It just adds all that structure. But on these larger bifold doors, we have 6 and 8 rebar on each side, holding the wall steady, if you would, when you go up and around it. So early on, this is my first ICF house, but those are a lot of details that I've learned along the way on this one, and actually some of them were forgotten early, but we got them in just by going over the plans and noticing that early. So that's great because it's all in and ready to go. So.
And something we did, and this is really important in the engineering side, so just before we got Ryan involved, we had a lot of coordination between the structural engineer, our structural steel company, Leavitt Steel, and then of course ICF specialist. To Ryan's point, the reason being is the way it's originally designed, it was going to be more expensive because we were using a lot of the Fox blocks as structural components on some of these large openings. And so we opted to go with some structural steel lintels in some areas, especially in the garage and here in the great room. And what that's going to do is, again, on these little wing walls, these pony walls, if you will, that jog out, as Ryan mentioned, you have more rebar. That's going to give it the strength so that you're not, those walls aren't moving at all, especially we have big sliders in here. But the whole point of doing the structural steel is, one, it's going to allow us to build a little quicker because we don't have to wait for that concrete to cure if we're using, the ICF as, to bridge some of these gaps. And then it also creates some of that structural integrity. So a lot of coordination with the steel and rebar, and you're going to see how much rebar is in these walls as we go up. And Ryan gets to his first pour.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, here in Gilbert, we don't do a ton of ICF houses.
Right.
So the town of Gilbert's already called and said that, hey, they're excited to work with us on this one and be able to kind of see all the rebar that's necessary and kind of just come out here and work in stages, right? We'll let the ICF guys keep going, but they want to see it weekly just to make sure we're getting all the rebar in, and it's kind of a learning project for them as well. So he's excited about that, yeah.
Involving the city inspectors, and I know a lot of the community itself, the HOA, is excited as well to have an ICF project in here in Somerset because it is different. And when they drive by, as they see this, all the white styrofoam, it definitely looks a lot different when you drive by. You can already see it right now as we start to go vertical. We're only a couple feet up, but as you get to 28 feet up, looks a little bit different.
Yeah, when I had them, I had bundles and pallets stacked around the lot. Everyone was questioning what that was and what we were doing, so they'll be excited to see it actually go vertical.
Well, thank you guys.